This episode of Shop Talk is sponsored by the Tent Man Guild, voted Sumter's best window tinted shop for the past 5 years. They treat every vehicle like it's their own. The Tent Man also offers commercial and residential tinting. The Tent Man is located at 470 South Ginyard Drive, Suite 5. You can reach the Tent Man by phone at 803-847-9014. God's Glory Transportation. God's Glory Transportation is built from the ground up, from the good Lord above. You can get with my brother Dennis McFadden, the owner and operator of God's Glory Transportation, for all of your auto transport needs or how to get started. You can visit his website at www.godsglorytransportation.com. Realtor Kenneth Johnson, a committed, passionate, and result-driven realtor who prides himself on meeting and exceeding clients' expectations. You can contact Kenneth at 803-410-0976. All right, guys, welcome to Shop Talk, Season 2, Episode 2. I'm your host, Excalibur, and we have an excellent guest today, my good buddy, my client, my big brother, the realtor, Mr. Kenneth Johnson. Mr. Johnson, tell people something about yourself.
Hello, everyone, and thank you to Excalibur and the Shop Talk crew for having me here. I'm Kenneth Johnson, born and raised here in Manning, South Carolina. Did 25 years in the Army, retired in 2017, started my real estate career in Columbia, and then due to some family issues, I moved back home to help take care of my mom. And so now I'm doing real estate here in Manning and the surrounding areas. I cover Sumter County, Orangeburg County, and I still cover Columbia. But I'm a realtor in the state of South Carolina, so I can go and sell and represent you in any county, city. It doesn't matter. Real quick, if you don't mind, I'd just like to talk about one program that's near and dear to me. It's called the Homes for Heroes program. Homes for Heroes is a program that benefits law enforcement, healthcare professionals, educators, and veterans. It's an incentive-based program, and you can find it online, Home for Heroes. And once you enroll online, they will connect you with a local Homes for Hero agent, which I am a local Homes for Hero agent here in Manning. Once you're connected, we get you situated to help you with your real estate needs, whether it be buying or selling a property. So just want to mention that to you and let you know that that's a program available for you. And again, thank you for having me.
Anytime, brother. Real estate, that's the big thing now. Before we kick off the show, we always start with this month as being Mental Health Month. So I like to go around and just check everybody's mental fitness for when the last time we saw each other, back in February. So since then, what you guys' mental fitness been since then to now? Andrew, I'll let you kick it off and then we'll go around.
Oh man, I'm on I can say I'm about a 9.
9.
Yeah, the last few months I had a lot of good things happen, some bad things happen, but you know those good things lately have kind of subsided. You know the bad. Had some family. My example, I had an uncle that passed away. He lived in California pretty much all my life. He came back to Virginia. You know, spent some time with him before he passed away. And during the funeral, all my cousins came from California, so we got to spend time together. So you got the good and the bad there. And then some other things happened in my career. We'll talk about that in another show, the next show. Yeah, right now I'm saying I'm about a 9. I'm in a good place.
T, what about you, man?
I'd say about a 7, which is pretty good. Just dealing with basic father, husband, work issues, you know, just basic things that's just real frustrating. Nothing major to talk about, but 6, 7, that's about it.
What about you, Jay?
I'd have to go with a 6 or a 7. Mm-hmm. A lot of family issues for the past month and a half.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law having a stroke, having to take my wife even to the hospital. Her small intestine shut down. That's all she's got to help digest food, and she's hospital free for almost 4 years now. So it was a shock, and just the normal day-to-day, struggles with pain and then doing it without the narcotics and without the drugs that I choose not to take. And of course the VAs, they're lousy.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It is what it is. But for the most part, I'm headed back up the hill. I think once we go to this Shelby event that's raising money for the Carol Shelby Foundation for the kids,
okay,
it'll put everything kind of like peak me out at a nice 10, because I like doing for the kids that didn't choose to be in a hospital and have the things happen to them that's occurred. So we do a lot of that.
I would say a strong 6.
You always have to balancing the work life, church, and family. It's at some point you're gonna have high highs, you're gonna have low lows, but I'm trying to even kill it out.
Mm-hmm.
I just thank God for being alive.
There you go.
Yeah. I had a coworker, dear friend, that recently passed, and my condolences to the Henson family. And she got cancer and just went pretty quick in 1 year. She was a soldier. She came through. She continued to work till she couldn't any longer. Yeah. So, anytime that you're able to see it up close, it allows you to really have a true sense of the value of life and the importance of every moment that you have, because you don't know. Yeah. None of us really know. Yeah. So appreciate every day.
What about you, Sonya?
I'm going to say I'm at a 5. I know, I'm just tired. I don't even know where I'm going to muster up the next bit of strength. My mom broke her ankle last Wednesday, Thursday, and that has been the hardest thing to do. She is fighting us tooth and nail to go along with work. Everything is, I can honestly say I'm tired of being everything for everybody. So
Superwoman is hard, man. Come on.
Superwoman tired.
Yeah. Don't worry. You're going to have a chance to relax soon. Don't worry about it. What about you, Kay?
I would say, being honest, I'd say I'm at about a 5 as well. Trying to be self-employed is kind of difficult at times. And there's external factors that affect my profession that I can't really control. And we probably will talk about that later, but the rise in interest rates is really putting a hurting on business. So managing the outside stressors is probably what's key in recognizing what stresses are upon you, whether it's internally or externally, And once you figure that out, then it's about, for me, it's about having a mechanism to get away from everything that's causing that stress. For me, I play golf. That's 4 hours.
He's going to be teaching me soon, too, so I'm going to learn it.
That's
we
4
going
hours
together,
of where I can just decompress a little bit throughout the day, or a day when things are getting rough. And sometimes in the middle of the day, if a deal falls through for me or something goes sideways with the deal, I may just stop what I'm doing and just go straight to the golf course just to,
Release the stress.
And fishing also. I do a lot of fishing too, so that's just something just to get my mind away from things. So for you all, if you battling external or internal stressors, just find some way to cope with it. Find something to do that can get your mind off of, if it's not just for a few minutes, just to give you that break.
Well, me, I'm at a 6, just like what Terrence said, dealing with the typical family, being a husband, being a father, and also career-wise situations, man. Sonya, I'm like you sometimes too, man. Sometimes you tired of being everybody's everybody. But I look at it's a good and bad. It's a good and bad side of everything. The good thing is I know it's gonna get better, especially career-wise. With everything going on in the world, y'all know I'm in law enforcement. With everything going on in the world, and also you two guys, it's crazy out there. Come home very stressed. My mechanism to handle that is the gym. So if anybody watching, just like what Mr. Johnson said, have an outlet. If you're stressing about something, have something to occupy your time to get over that stress. Don't go to drugs, don't go to drinking, don't do none of that. Just find some type of hobby. So yeah, I'm at a 6. But let's get to the topics. This is why we're here today. For my big brother here, Kenneth Johnson. Affordable housing crisis. How does it affect our communities?
So for me, it's different types of affordable housing. So when you say, for your question specifically, what are you saying by affordable housing? Are you talking Section 8? Are you talking just buying houses in general? What are you talking about affordable housing?
Let's start with the Section 8.
So with the Section 8, is it hurting or helping?
Both. Is it helping or is it hurting our community?
Well, I think it's helping because it's providing an opportunity for those that cannot buy to find a place to live.
Can you explain what affordable housing is for the ones that don't know what it is?
Affordable housing is basically just that. It's just finding housing that is. So we have different classes of living, right? You have the low income, middle, high, and so it's basically for the low income individuals to help them, what we call the American dream is have a place to live, whether it's to purchase. There's several programs out there to help, and you must qualify. Most of those programs are income-based programs that you can get into that help you qualify to purchase a house. So there's down payment assistance programs that are available to help you get into, if you're looking to purchase, to definitely get into a house. Section 8 is there to help people find homes for rent that they couldn't normally rent through a typical landlord, things of that nature. So they provide that assistance to help them get into a place to live. So with that, we can help ourselves by, taking care of some of the basic things, which is taking care of our credit, saving our money. Even with down payment assistance programs, purchasing a home, there's still some costs involved with that. And you have to have some funds available to take care of those costs. And so I think the assumption is that if I qualify for down payment assistance, that I don't have to pay.
And I think that's what I meant by is it hurting our community, just what you said. It pretty much handicap us from what we really need to be taking care of, which is our credit, because credit is very important and survive. Also, you need to have some type of savings, right, just for an emergency. And I think the affordable housing will handicap us from doing that because we know, they hook us up, we be all right. Am I right?
Well, I think that's the attitude of the individual. I think that would be a case by case situation, because if your attitude is just that, well, I don't have to do anything because I'm going to get this assistance, then I would say it's hurting. Yeah. But if your attitude is, I need this assistance just to get me over the hump, I'm going to continue to work towards bettering myself, saving, improving my credit, doing all the things that you should be doing, then I think it's there to serve that particular purpose, is to bridge the gap to get you to where you want to be.
What type of programs are out there now for the middle class? And I mean, I'll give you an example. Me, I had 2 pieces of property I sold recently, but I can't afford anything now. Mm-hmm. It's hard to even, although I sold these properties, I made a profit, but now for me to get something decent for myself, I can't afford it.
Okay, so you're in law enforcement, right? Because I think he pointed to both of you all about being in law enforcement. So the program that I mentioned, Homes for Heroes, it's an incentive-based program. But there's also a lot of the programs that are out there. Palmetto Heroes is another program that's out there. State Housing is out there that offers down payment assistance. And those programs, again, they are the majority of them are income-based and income-based and family-based programs. So, if you are a couple that has 2 children and you're making, let's say, $40,000 a year, you may qualify for one of those programs, especially State Housing or Palmetto Heroes. If you're a single parent in that category, you would most likely qualify. If you're making $60,000, $70,000 a year, you would most likely not qualify.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So you would have to, then again, to mitigate that is you would have to save, just being honest, and you would have to improve, if your credit is there, maintain your credit. If it's not there, improve your credit, but you're going to have to save, and you're not going to qualify for some of those programs. There are first-time home buyer programs, but again, some of those come with a lot of different stipulations that comes along with it. So if a friend of yours tell you, well, yeah, I got down payment assistance, they probably not telling you the whole story. Their situation is probably totally different from yours. And so I've seen it. I've had it told to me on numerous occasions. My friend just bought a house. Okay, did your friend tell you everything went into that? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Your friend is not telling you, that they were just at the credit line. They were just at the savings line. Your friend is not, and at the income line. They're not telling you. I had a young lady. I helped her get into a house in Sumter, but that was her number one thing the whole time. That's a mission. Yeah. How come I can't get it? Unfortunately, you make $70,000 a year. You don't qualify for those programs. It's assistance. Yeah. Not a giveaway, it's assistance. Yeah, it's assistance.
That's just what it say on paper.
I'm out there good on paper. Hey, y'all want a house? I mean, come on, just to get, because me by myself, I can't get anything that's, reasonable. Like you say, I got to have $25,000, $30,000 in order to get,
Not necessarily. So the most you would need for a down payment, so we use simple numbers, right? So it depends on the type of loan that you would qualify for, right? So conventional FHA, you're looking at 3.5% for FHA, sometimes 5% for conventional. So using a $100,000 home, just for simple math, 3.5%, that's $3,500 you would need for down payment, with an additional $3,000 to $4,000 for closing costs, and those are the other costs I'm talking about that comes with buying a home. So to pay attorney fees, all of those things, you're looking at another $35,000. So on a $100,000 home, you would need at least minimum $7,000, to get through that in a bank account. Not under the mattress. I've had that happen.
Yes,
right.
How did the US
came in with a backpack full of money?
Yeah. How does the USDA loans?
So the USDA loans are based off of the geographical area. So all of Clarendon County qualifies for USDA. Okay. So it's based off the geographical area. And it's the same thing as down payment. They will give you, I think, up to $10,000 down payment assistance. But the home has to qualify. You have to qualify as well. So if you go to the USDA website, I don't want to give out any wrong numbers, but on the USDA website, it has a page that you put in your family, the makeup of your family, number of personnel in the household. If you have a working teenager, working adult in the household that's living, you got cousin living with you, whatever, you have to report all of that stuff because that determines whether you qualify. So if you got extra income coming in, you have to report all of that stuff. And once you fill out that form on USDA, it's going to spit it out right then and there and tell you whether you're fully eligible or ineligible. And so that's how you know it's going to ask you for your income, the whole 9 yards. And that's why I say a lot of these programs are income-based programs, and a lot of them are based off of the USDA specifically is based off of the number of personnel living in the household as well.
It's not more of the general, just, reaching your goal, kind of like my dream house. It's more of the investment side. But what I would say on like a situation like yours, like you have a lot of money, income, but you may not have like the accessibility to it to be able to have the down payment or what have you up front. I would say look at foreclosures. Look at a house that tax liens or something to that kind of effect to be able to secure it that way, and then build it up, do what you got to do, and make it into your dream.
And all those come into play, but a lot of that, just like, and we've talked about it before, like I do investment properties, but for your own property, that right there, you got to be spot on right then and there. Am I right or wrong? With a lot of stuff, you got to be spot on. Foreclosure, you got to have you got to have your ducks in a row, your paperwork, your down payment, and everything right there, for it. Because if it's something that you really want, it's going to become a missed opportunity if you're not right on it. If it's invested property, well, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. And the amount of money that you're talking about for yourself, opposed to investment property, $100,000 for investment property. Okay, cool. If I lose it, I lose it. If I win it, I'm good because then I can invest, put this in it to improve it, whatever have you. But I want something 250, close to 300 for myself. So I got to be boom. You got to be right there. No, I understand what you're saying, and that's true for anybody that's doing it. And correct me if I'm wrong, that investment properties, or something that you're looking to flip or whatever have you, look at those, get those taxes, because the tax liens in South Carolina, you have to wait a year after you purchase them in order for it to be yours, in order to get the paperwork started for it to be yours. So if you look into invest in things like that, you see a property that's $3,000 and it's valued at $150,000, buy it, bid on it. Look at your numbers, make sure you can afford it, first of all. Bid on it, you win that bid, go ahead and wait on it. And once it comes clear, invest in it. Foreclosures, same thing. The banks all the time, they want you to put that high number in, but if your portfolio is correct, you put that number in you want, most likely you will get it. Most likely you will get it because the banks, especially nowadays with the way the economy is, they go take what they can get and just move it into another piece of property. That's it. But let's talk about the market right now being a seller's market. When are we gonna get a buyer's market again?
Well, that all depends on the seller. So the reason why it is a seller's market is because there's not a lot of homes for sale in
right now.
In your particular area.
So
like I said, I work Sumter, Manning, Columbia. I did a search earlier today for a young lady that's looking to buy a house in Sumter from $200 to $250. Okay. She told me her criteria, what she wanted: 3-bedroom, 2-bath, square footage. I put all of that in the parameters, got it set. hit search in Sumter County, spit out 2 homes for me.
Wow.
Now just imagine in Sumter County, just that price range, 200 to 250 now.
That should be easy.
It spit out 2 homes. So just imagine there's all of these real estate offices, right? You got Coldwell Banker, Century 21, you got myself, JP and Associates Realtors. You got all of these realtors that are working with buyers. And so when those 2 houses become available, you got 20 to 25 people clamoring to get in that house, which creates what we're in now, a bidding war. So now the house is, you know, let's say the house is listed for 225.
Yeah.
Now you got people that need a place to stay. You know, we talk about foreclosures.
Yeah.
Foreclosures is a game for patient people.
Oh.
Because they are owned by the bank. The bank has a number that they're willing to accept, and it has to be approved by the trustees of the bank before they approve that sale on a foreclosure. And so you bid on a foreclosure, you put your number in, like he said, and if it doesn't meet that criteria, they're just going to deny you and tell you no, you didn't get the foreclosed property or whatever. So
I'm sorry, can you elaborate a little further on that? Like, how do you determine what's a good bid? How do you find those type of houses, like with the bank?
You can search online for foreclosures. You can just search online for foreclosed properties. They got plenty of sites that are available. You just, like, I use one, I don't want to reveal it, but I use one that I use that a lot of realtors use to look at foreclosed properties. But you could just search foreclosed properties. And then you need an agent really to give you the market value of that property to help guide you to make a sensible, reasonable offer on that property. So if you're doing that on your own, my recommendation is to contact a realtor, say, hey, you know, I need some assistance in trying to get this foreclosed property. I want to be competitive when I make my offer if you really want it. If you just out there, because there's a lot of people out there that are time wasters, I'm just being honest, that they see something and they'll throw something out there and say, well, if they don't bite on it, they really don't want to sell it. Well, it's not the case, you know. If you don't, my philosophy is if you don't want it, if you want it, you're gonna do what it takes to get it, you know. So it's just that I got off track though.
No, I'm sorry, but you was headed into explaining how I'm off track as well. Okay, with the foreclosures, I guess what I'm trying to get at, and you explained it to some degree, but you really led into the question. My thing is, for a person that's looking to invest, and I know I'm taking it off still, but just to expound on that a little bit, what are the best opportunities? Like, what are the ROIs that you're looking for? What is the type of market that you know, everything is location, of course, with real estate. So what are some of the key things that you were looking for if you are investing into a particular home or even with a foreclosure property? Like, what are you looking for in return?
Now you got me about the quote. But you looking, I think the rule is, they have a rule, and I think it's the 70, it's skipping me right now, but I know it involves in, I don't want to say it wrong, so I'm not going to say it, but I know I know what you're asking, I just don't want to quote it wrong, incorrectly. But it's about your return, I think, should be anywhere between 40 to 60%, something like that, on your investment.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think it's 70, 60, but that's the number I remember.
Yeah, but I think you don't want to put more than 70% of your into the property.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You're saying so that if you was to, because if the market goes up, you can.
You don't want to bottom out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't have. That's something that I can get back with you.
So for someone looking for a home, and let's say their credit is not up to par, what are some of the steps they can do to get their credit up to par instead of going to like Lexington Law or something like that?
So for me, the first thing is to get a copy of your credit report before you start shopping, because you don't want it to be a surprise. I get so many phone calls. I'm interested in buying a home. Okay, what is your credit score?
They don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
So my first thing to tell anybody is get a copy of your credit report. You can get it at the credit bureaus offer you a free one every year anyway. You can go to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, request a free copy. I think they have a website called freecreditreport.com that you can go on and get a copy of your credit report and take a look at your credit report, know what your score is, and not only that, just see that everything that's on your credit report belongs to you. You know, because a lot of times things merge onto your credit report because of a Social Security number is so similar. Yeah. As a young soldier, I was trying to buy a car. I thought I had good credit. When I went to the dealership, they said, we can't give you a loan. Well, why not? So you got a repossession. I was like, I never owned a car. Wow. How do I have a repossession? One digit off on the Social Security number. Some lady's car merged onto my credit profile. She had the car repossessed, and it was on mine. I had to take the necessary steps to get it removed. But once I got it removed, I was able to purchase a car. So know what's on your credit report, wow, get a copy of it. And then, you know, I work with a company that they do credit repair, and they do credit counseling, and they do budgeting. So when I get clients that are not in a position credit-wise to purchase, because normally it is this, you get somebody that's have the money for down payment and closing costs, but they don't have the credit. Or you get somebody that has the credit and they don't have the money. So for those that don't have the credit, I connect them with the credit repair company that I work with. It's called Score Pros Plus, independently owned and not a franchise, nothing like Lexington Law. She does one-on-one counseling. Your first phone call is a consultation. She reviews your credit. And she tells you all about the program. She holds you to a monthly phone call, and that call is to continue your way forward in building or repairing your credit. And so as updates are made to your credit report, she counsels you on those updates, lets you know what's happening, and if you're trying to budget, she takes a look at your income, your expenses, and she helps you budget. So while you're in the program with me or with her, you're working towards saving to have the money for the down payment, to have the money for the closing costs, and to build up your credit. It's not a quick fix, and she'll tell you that. Lexington Law, I think, is like a quick fix, or some of these other people I can get you here in 30, 60 days. No, she doesn't operate like that. She'll tell you, you know, you get into this program, we're in it for at least 6 months or longer, so she can make sure that the stuff that is being repaired, if it's being removed, that it's removed and it's removed permanently. And then just the education behind it is to get you credit savvy and know how things work.
So what about the people that have good credit, but they don't have the right amount of savings in their account for a bank to give them a loan? What's the amount they probably need for the bank to even consider?
It all depends on your purchase price.
Okay.
Your purchase price. So whatever you're purchasing, again, to use that easy number, $100,000, you're looking at 3.5% to 5% of that as a down payment. So if they don't have any money, I can't say it enough to start saving. Start scratching and you know, look at all your expenses. Is it something that you can, you know, do without? Do you eat out 3-4 times a week? Can you drop it down to 2 and save $40 or whatever? You know, just whatever. Just start looking at ways you can save. As a private, I never forget, I was talking to a sergeant. I was getting paid every 2 weeks. And I said, man, every time I get paid, my money's gone just like that. Mm-hmm. And he said, why don't you change it to get paid once a month? I said, once a month? He was like, yeah, get paid once a month. He said, that way, if you spend all your money by the 5th, you're done. And you'll learn quick how to save money and make it last, you know. And so that's what happened. I started getting paid once a month, and it actually changed my whole outlook on money, savings, and the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. Question: I'm sorry.
If I'm a first-time home buyer, what are you expecting me to have when I come to you?
Well, this is whether you're a first-time home buyer or not. If you want to make sure you gather all your documents, so you're going to need at least your 2 years prior tax returns, at least 2 months bank statements, and 2 pay stubs. Okay, that's it. That's what you need at a minimum to get started. So the bank can look at, your income. All of that is to verify your income and your ability to repay the loan if they give it to you.
No, I mean like when I come to you, like I'm just looking for a house. Not necessarily when I'm going to qualify for the loan. When I come to you searching for a house.
I don't need you to do anything but just come to me.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would tell you that that's what you would need, because we're going to push that to the lender. And as far as you and I working together, or anybody, I'm working with anybody, whether it's a first-time home buyer or not, I just need you to trust in me that I'm going to lead you in the right direction, and I'll take you from there.
How can you vet what a good agent is, or, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so, with the market being the way that it is, seems like a seller's market. Well, there's definitely a seller's market. If someone is trying to sell a house, it seems like anybody could be able to sell now. But how can you get or know the best option to go with if you was to selling?
So for me, I look at personality. Okay, for me, there have been clients that we just didn't gel together. So you could probably, I would say you could probably go on a realtor's Facebook page or go to their website or whatever. Because an agent is selling a lot of houses, that doesn't mean that they're still a good agent. So for me, it's a personality thing. I need to be able to mesh with you. I need to be able to know that when we talking on the phone, it's a cordial conversation. I get a lot of times, and I know I'm not the only realtor that face this, but I get a lot of clients or people that call me and say, well, I was talking to another realtor. Hey, well, continue to talk to that realtor and let them lead you in the right direction.
Yeah.
You don't, if you're calling me for just my opinion, I'll give it to you, but you need to trust that person that you're working with. And if you don't trust them, then I would say you need to leave them alone and then find somebody that you feel comfortable with. But as far as me, I just look at the personality. As long as we can connect and mesh and we're working towards your goal, then I think you have a good, are there bad realtors? Yes. Are there good realtors? Yes. But you won't know until you start working with them.
So how about on the other side of it, like partnerships, like JV deals, right? If I'm looking for a partner, like a junior, like joint venture type,
okay,
yeah.
Yes.
If I'm looking to partner, say with Miller, or whatever, right, X, and I'm like, all right, this is what I'm bringing to the table. I'm bringing good credit. I'm bringing X amount of dollars. What am I looking for with the other partner? Like, what makes good partners? Have you seen anything like the sort? Like,
I think he's saying, like, if you want to buy like a building, saying like a building, right?
Yeah, like just
a family home.
Yeah, multi-family housing, anything of the sort, like just with starting in real estate, right? Is the way that the cost is now, it's really hard to be able to, everybody to be able to do it individually, right? So say we all come together and say, all right, we are going to go out here and purchase a couple of houses, or a 4-family house, or a small complex, whatever the case is. What should I be looking for in the partnership?
So I haven't dealt with that, but I think the answer to your question is what you just mentioned. Like you said, I have the credit, I have the money. Well, you don't want to, I would think you don't want to partner with no money, right? You don't want to partner with bad credit. You want to partner with some type of knowledge or know-how about, investing or getting into the housing business. So I have 2 investment properties, but I did them individually. So, and I'm really not looking to partner with anybody. So I really don't know how to answer that. But I would think if I were to partner with somebody, I would want somebody to have the same.
They're gonna have to bring something to the table.
They're gonna have to have the same things that I have equally. And if it's less, then maybe we can work something out till they get to that equal standard. If somebody that I know and trust that we can get there, then I think I would consider partnering with them.
Got you. On another note, you was talking about the mindset of coming and saving and everything of that nature, right? And the importance of that. If somebody had enough money to, say, have a significant down payment, say 10, 20% right now, even in this market, but also had the money to go buy their dream car, which would you tell them to go and do, and why? Would they go for their investment property or dream car?
Investment property.
Why?
Why? Because hopefully you would gain some returns on your investment property. You're not going to get any returns on your dream car. You're going to drive it. You're going to lose the value on it. You know, typically houses appreciate. So, you know, you're looking for the value to increase in that home. You know, if you put something into it to help increase the value. So when you do decide, if it's an investment property, you do decide to sell it, you want to get a significant return on your investment. I wouldn't buy a dream car. You know, if those were my two options, yeah.
I give you an example of that. Just like I was saying, the properties I just sold, I bought the properties in 2015, and 6 years later, just in January, I sold them and profited 115%.
Sweet.
Now, suppose I bought a car.
Yeah. Depreciated.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference right there. Yeah.
And that's over a 6-year period, right?
6 year period, yeah.
So
yeah.
I just bought my house last April. Matter of fact, yeah, I just just passed a year anniversary on my house, right? Here in Manning. The value of my house went up $60,000 in that year because of the market.
Oh, beautiful.
You know. Now, will it sustain that? We hope so.
We hope
but,
so. Yeah.
But as of right now,
Right
as
now.
we're speaking, I checked it. I was like, whoa.
But it most rarely would not go below what he paid for it. It might go close to it to meet it where he, you know, but it would never really go below what he paid for it.
But isn't that what it puts you in a difficult spot, because most financial analysts right now in the country are saying the market's going to crash. It's going to go so high that it's going to come down.
Well, that's why the interest rates are going up. They're trying to keep it level.
The interest rates are going up. The housing costs are going up. I can relate. Last year, my VA loan, my house was appraised at like $190. We just got the new appraisal in last month. It was $255,000. Is it worth $255,000? I don't know, because everything is going up, and people are making the up money, which is, you know, even though it's your bread and butter, you know, I know you probably get military retirement. You said you're retired. Would you caution folks to invest their money into, you know, real estate right now is real uneasy as the economy is and the country is, quite frankly?
Well, because it is my bread and butter, my answer is always now is the right time to buy. You know what I'm saying? Now is the right time to buy and sell.
Exactly.
Because we don't. So, right, the financial analyst is just predictions. You know, we don't know which way the market is going to go. You know, it could continue to, you know, skyrocket, go out of control, or it could bottom out. We just don't know. So, I had a client. They bought a house. Because of their credit, they didn't get the best interest rate, you know. But they had good enough credit to buy,
be able to get it,
you know, to where they wasn't denied. So
Let me cut you off. What's good enough?
Typically 580.
580.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Typically 580. Okay. So my recommendation to them was, if you really need the home, and you know, and it's also based off of people's needs and everything else, you know, because especially like for military people, we get to different locations. Like when I PCS to Fort Riley, you know, I was married. I had a family. Hey, I need to get into a place ASAP. So I rented a place before I bought a place. And so when I bought because I didn't want to be renting anymore. But it's all based off of what somebody, you know, that individual's or that family's personal need, everything at that time. So I advise them to go ahead and purchase the home, continue to work on your credit, And when the opportunity presents itself, which it did back in December, November timeframe when the interest rates were 2.5, 3%, I called them to remind them, hey, have you been working on your credit? Yes. Now is the time to refinance and get out of that 5.5 you were in, and let's get you down to that 3.5%. So it all depends on that need, because they needed a place. They were in an apartment, their lease was expiring, they had no desire to stay there because the landlord or the property manager wasn't doing anything to fix their problems, and they wanted out. So as an agent, I say, okay, this is what we got to do. This is how we attack the situation.
So with the interest rates being so high right now, if they was to try to qualify with a 580, they would probably be somewhere in the 7s or 8s.
It could be. Yep. It could be. It could be difficult. Like right now, $136,000 house will net you a $1,100 a month payment. Right now, with the interest rates where they at 5%, 5.5%. It's crazy, but that's what it would net you.
Well, this is what people need to know, man. That's why we got you on here.
Yeah, that's what it would net you at this current interest rate. So it is if your credit is very, 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 very important. You know, I just can't express that any more than that.
The question that I asked you is because my wife is interested, no shame, to get in a car, and I told her get a house first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get the asset, let the asset pay for the liability, you know. And that's my advice to anybody I come across is, regardless of whatever the circumstances may be, get an appreciated asset, you know. And as long as you are going to keep that and you are patient enough, have the luxury, hopefully, of the patience to find the right property that is not going to get you upside down in a mortgage that, okay, you're paying $30,000 over asking, like a lot of people are right now, and then find yourself in a position that, you know, the market regulates and now you're, you know, which was worth $250,000 is now back to $210,000, and you can't afford it. But if you can stay with and deal with it and keep the property, that eventually over time is going to go back up anyway.
Yeah.
So it's all about what your interests are, and so I believe personally, it's always the asset first. I've noticed now that I'm looking for more of a flip type thing, but it's really hard for me. I got a couple of buy and holds, but you know, from what I've been hearing, what I've been reading is like, you know, rental properties that get you wealthy, but flipping is what gets you rich. And at the point, you know, as startups, you need to have enough income to be able to sustain these properties as well. So somebody that's a young lady, young man out there that's looking to plan for the next 5-10 years, what are, besides the getting your credit straight, what are some things that you would advise them to do to prepare for that kind of dream house scenario?
Again, it's the credit. It is saving money. Because I think you said it. What did you say you want your house to be at? You threw out a number earlier.
I'm looking at between 250 to 300.
All right, so 250 to 300, right? So that's almost $9,000 right there in a down payment. So it depends on if you want your dream house and you want that $1 million home or whatever, $500,000, $600,000 home, you got to be saving money regardless. So that's the bottom line. That's the name of the game, is saving money. So you got to have some type of assets, and that money could be in a 401k. It don't have to be like in a bank account. But if you got money set aside to where you can draw from to purchase your dream home, then it's going to go a long way. You're not going to be able to purchase a dream home. I shouldn't say that. You will be able to purchase a dream home with down payment assistance, but remember there's always cost involved with buying a home.
So pretty much when I'm getting out of this conversation, the common denominator is credit, savings. So ladies and gentlemen, let's make sure you get your credit right. If you're trying to get your home, you tired of renting, let's make sure we get your credit right and make sure you start putting some money to the side. Them Jordans, them red bottoms, them Mustangs, them Hellcats, they're going to be there. But put that money to the side. If you don't need it, you don't need it. It's not important. That house is important, okay?
And I'm going to add to that this. He said 580. 580 is, like you say, the general, a lot of your mortgage companies, 580, they can jump on you, whatever have you. But try to be closer to 600, 620 as you can, because that opens you up to more banks and mortgages that will look at you. So, and they will bid against themselves to try to get you if your numbers are higher than, you know.
580 is absolute minimum.
Bare
but
minimum.
You want to be at a 620.
Yeah.
And then Quentin, we met in the attorney's office.
Facts.
He was buying a home that I was selling.
Exactly.
Right there in Manning. So I don't know if you.
That's the first time, right?
Yeah, that's the first time. So is that one of your buy and hold properties that you mentioned?
Yeah, that is for now, and is doing well.
And so you bought that. It's generating you some cash flow.
Nice cash flow.
Okay.
And like you said, the property value. Now I don't know if you go off Zillow or not. That's all I got to go off. But it has went from it. I'll tell you this. It is going up on Zillow. Has gone up $30,000 on Zillow in 1 year.
Yeah, and I was about to say that was about a year ago.
Yeah.
Right?
And so that's why I'm an avid believer that you sacrifice for what you want, you know. And there's this you have to prioritize and see the long game. Like I want to be able to create generational wealth, you know. Even if I have to struggle now, which I'm not, but if I have to eat peanut butter and jelly a couple of days instead of the nice grilled steak, I'll do that.
Gotta sacrifice
in order to make sure that my son, when he becomes a man, you got these houses to rock.
You don't have to work for nobody.
You don't have to work for anybody if you don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, you
feel
can
you.
start off with a head start. And a lot of times we don't see that. All we see is now. Like, I'm able to live the life that I wanted to, not because of the job that I have, because they definitely don't pay teachers enough, but because of the sacrifices that I've been making over the last 5 years in preparation. And I think, you know, anybody that has a dream, has a goal, you gotta reverse engineer it. You know what I mean? You gotta say, all right, well, when I retire, no matter how many years it is from now, what do I want that to look like? You know, what type of income do I have to have coming in order to have the kind of lifestyle that I want, and work from that point back to present. And, you know, it's doable.
Yeah, it is. And you call it reverse engineering. We call it backwards planning. But you start from the end and work your way back to the beginning, so you can map out your course to get to where you want to be. So
ladies and gentlemen, savings and credit is the important part, okay? We're going to move on to the next topic.
Yeah.